Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be playing Ashnod, Flesh Mechanist, and Historic Brawl. It has 20 creatures, 41 non-creatures, and 38 lands to be exact. Now, Ashnod, Flesh Mechanist, it's a 1 mana commander that is usually used in artifact decks, and it's basically a ramp commander here. There are a lot going on, a lot to go about when it comes to Ashnod. So what we try to do here is basically have creatures that we can sacrifice through Ashnod's abilities, so we can get power stones, so we can use the power stones to cast big artifacts or artifacts in general. So we have a bunch of artifacts and a bunch of creatures to sacrifice here. Most notable mentions are basically going to be 2 mana creatures that we would want to sacrifice, because we play Ashnod on turn 1, we play a creature to sacrifice on turn 2, and we want that creature to kind of either replace itself or go to the graveyard and we can recast it again, so we can keep sacrificing it to the Ashnod. And since it has Death Touch, a lot of people don't really want to block the Ashnod, even though they need to, because that's one way to stop Ashnod. If you kill Ashnod in the first couple of turns, the Ashnod deck usually loses, unless you go to the long game and then they can really cast everything. But yeah, nonetheless, we're gonna start here with, we have this Cold Conscript here. We have Cursebound Witch as like 1 mana creatures that we can sacrifice. We also have stuff like Shambling Ghast here for 1 mana. We have Gixian Recycler, which is one of the best cards to sacrifice for Ashnod. We have Hobbling Zombie, it replaces itself. Carrier Thrall replaces itself. We also have Doom Descender, replaces itself. So whenever we sacrifice these creatures, it replaces itself and it gives us another sacrifice fodder for Ashnod to attack with the following turn. Novus Occultus draws us a card. Tenacious Underdog has Graveyard Synergy. Undead Augur draws us a card. And we have some 2 mana artifacts here that benefit off of the Power Stone tokens. We have Guardian Idol and Mind Stone for ramp, Maze Mind Tome, and Reckoner Bankbuster for card advantage. And we have Weatherlight Completed, which can benefit a lot off of you sacrificing your creatures. We also have Meathook Massacre here for removal. We have card draw engines like Black Market Connections and Phyrexian Arena. We have removal like Soul Shatter. We have an insane card in this list, Woe Strider. Woe Strider is absolutely crazy. It plays well with a lot of cards like Weatherlight Completed. It also gives you a goat that you can sacrifice for the Ashnod. You can also scry off of all the other leftover creatures that you've sacrificed before. We're also running Murderous Rider as removal, basically. We're running some 3 mana artifacts here as well. Inspiring Sanctuary. It says non-artifact spells you control, you cast, have Improvise. And what Improvise means is basically for each artifact you tap, you get 1 mana. I'm running this because I'm running Eldrazi's Titans, Kozilek, and Ulamog. And since Power Stone tokens or Power Stone artifacts can only cast artifact spells, and since these are not artifacts, Inspiring Sanctuary basically turns each card you have in hand to have improvise. So you can even use your artifact or use your power stones to cast like a removal spell or to cast just anything that is not artifact, basically. So it has insane synergy. Sculpting Steel here enters as any artifact. Stasis Coffin gives you protection, not your permanents though. Unstable Obelisk here. I'm running Unstable Obelisk as a mana rock here because of my Eldrazi Titans again, and because of Forsaken Monument. Urza's Construction Drone is an insane card here. It gives you Urza lands and it gives you a ton of access to basically mana. And then we're running more removal like Baleful Mastery, Extinction Event. We're running Hedron Archive, again, Forsaken Monument, and your Eldrazi Titans. I'm running Karn the Great Creator so that I can stop my opponent's artifacts. There are a lot of artifacts within within Historic Brawl, and also so I can turn my artifacts into creatures that I can later on attack with and close out games. Mystic Forge here, pretty good card here. It's been rather mediocre so far. Like, it's not really good and it's not bad, but it's good to have, right? It exiles the top card of your library, so if it's a land you get to exile it, and then if it's a colorless, or if it's an artifact or a colorless spell, you can cast it from top. So very good. Phyrexian Processor can be a hidden win con here. You pay life and then you keep creating these tokens, these XX tokens. Solemn Simulacrum here is very good with Ashnod. I like the fact that it hits the battlefield, I get a land off of it, I attack with Ashnod, I sacrifice it, and draw a card off of it. So It's one card for like two basically, so very, very good. Forsaken Monument, obviously one of the better cards of the deck. Mind's Eye is a great draw engine. If your opponent was ever to draw cards, you can sink mana into this card and draw as many cards as your opponent is drawing. Sky Sovereign Console Flagship is an insane vehicle here as well. You know, every time it attacks or it enters the battlefield, you can deal 3 damage to a Planeswalker or a creature your opponent controls. Same with Might Stone, Weak Stone, not the Planeswalker part, but it draws you 2 cards or it kills something big. Caged Sun is obviously very good. We're a monocolored deck, so it says enters the battlefield, just choose a color. Creatures you control the chosen color gets +1/+1, which is irrelevant to be honest. Whenever lands ability causes you to add 1 or more mana of the chosen color, add an additional mana of that color. So it acts as a Forsaken Monument for your black lands. Dreamstone Hedron here, again, ramp. Also, you can sacrifice it and draw 3 cards, which is why I like these cards, like Hedron Archive and Dreamstone Hedron. Ugin the Ineffable obviously is a must-have in a artifact deck. Flesh Gorger here is insanely good as well, because when it gets targeted, your opponent kind of loses life, and it can gain you life, because we have a ton of ways to lose life here, right? We sink life into Processor, we sink life into Black Market Connections, so we need something that has lifelink, and something big like the Flesh Gorger. Meteor Golem can deal with non-land permanents. Cityscape Leveler does the same thing. Sundering Titan is very, very good against like 2 or 3 colored decks that run basics. Portal to Phyrexia is something that we can easily ramp up into. And then our finishers, which are usually Kozilek and Ulamog, which we have tons of ways to cast within the deck. Within the mana base, I'm running this Bojuka Bog to act as Graveyard Hate. And I also have Graveyard Hate within Rotten Reunion here as well. Rotten Reunion, you don't really need to exile something. You can just create a 2/2 black zombie that you can later on sacrifice for Ashnod as well. And we're running Hostile, Castle Locthwain, Hive of the Eye Tyrant, Witch's Cottage, Takenuma, Blast Zone, Buried Ruin to get any artifact back. Field of Ruin, obviously, Nykthos, not that I really need Nykthos here, but I just ran it either way. Plaza of Heroes and Reliquary Tower, because a lot of times we're going to draw a lot of cards. You can cut the Reliquary Tower, you can cut the Witch's Cottage and the Nykthos here and run maybe run like 29 swamps. You can run 30 by cutting the Bog here as well, which I also like. Bog was very underwhelming most of the time. Within our mana, 1 mana spells here: Mox Amber, Blood Chief's Thirst, Bone Shards, Sacrifice, Remove something, Planeswalker or creature. Cursebound Witch, we talked about. Dark Ritual is also insane. Fatal Push, Fiend Death here. Fiend Death can be very, very good. If they target the Ashnod, we can rebuy it back. Or if you put the Fiend Death on one of your creatures that you're deciding to sacrifice, you can get that back as well. Same for Malakir Rebirth, Ron Reunion we talked about, and we talked about Shambling Ghast and Thoughtseize. So that's pretty much for the deck. I don't have a ton of removal or a ton of discard or a ton of it's balanced. I feel like the deck is balanced. You have the right amount of removal, you have the right amount of creatures to sacrifice that some of them can replace themselves, and then once you ramp into these big artifacts and you slam like a Forsaken Monument or a Caged Sun, you don't really need to sacrifice anymore. You just need to sacrifice the first 2 or 3 turns maybe, or maybe even the first 2 turns. And once you slam your rampers like Hedron Archive, your Forsaken Monument, your Caged Sun, you're pretty much set for the whole game. What you look for after is finding your big top end artifacts or Eldrazi Titans, and you look to just keep refueling your hand, right? We have multiple ways for that. Like I mentioned, Bankbuster, Maze Mind Tome. We have Deadly Dispute. Whoops, I cut the Deadly Dispute. We have Diabolic Intent to search for anything basically. And we have another card, right? Reckoner's Bargain here as well. It can act as the same thing. It draws you cards. You can even sacrifice your many Power Stones for something like the Deadly Dispute and the what's it called? The Reckoner's Bargain, and then draw cards through that. We have multiple ways to draw cards. We have multiple removal, and we have some decent top end. So very, very, very balanced deck here, and it's been insane so far, to be honest. I really, really, really like the deck. So yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. If you do, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you guys later with another video. Okay? Bye. Alright, we're playing against Alicia, who smiles at death, and we do not have a creature in hand, so I'm going to mulligan this hand to try to find a creature. Tenacious Underdog is a good one. Weatherlight, yeah, this is all good. Play Ashnod on turn 1. Hopefully they don't have like a turn 1 push or something like that. But this hand should be good. We just need to find more creatures initially. So here, we're definitely going to go with the underdog here. And we're definitely going to kill the underdog here as well. We can double artifacts next turn. We have an artifact filled hand, so we need to ramp as fast as possible. Priest is a good one for them. Priest is actually a really good one. Alright, so they have Alicia next turn. Okay. Alright, Buried Ruin. I'm gonna get the Weatherlight down here, surely. Let's try attacking. If they take the block, I think I will be happy with that. At least we can play Bankbuster or something. Since we don't really have another creature to sacrifice in hand, I think that's the play that I'm willing to make here. Alright. Okay. Let's just get down to Bankbuster. Next turn we can play Solemn, ramp, and sacrifice the Solemn to the Ashnod. And maybe even save 1 mana for a Bloodchief's Thirst. Not that it's going to kill the Alicia here, but you know. They run out the Alicia, okay. Nothing. Alright. Let's play the Solemn here, just like we said we would. Take action. Alright. So, Alicia's gonna one-shot the Ashnod here, but I'm still going to go for it. Yikes. Alright, this is a little too late here. We know that Ashnod is going to die, right? Thanks to First Strike. Alright. We'll probably just... Okay. So Woe Strider should be nice here. I don't think we need more lands here. Let's have them invest some mana when they attack with Alicia. Instead of them playing something out. But that's not usually the case, you know. They sometimes will actually end up running something out, right? Nice part is that we have Woe Strider. Okay, they just make this play. Yeah, it makes sense. They're filling up their graveyards with 2 or lower powered creatures. They also have to discard first. That's the downside about Thrilling Discovery. It's not like you draw and then discard. You have to discard first. But I always like that card. They discard a General's Enforcer. Yikes. Alright. So that's pretty bad, but I'm thankful that we have Baleful Mastery here. Undead Augur, huh? Undead Augur. Man, I truly think we need to hold up the Baleful Mastery, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind investing, and Woe Strider unlocks the Bankbuster for us, right? So, yeah. I'm just gonna go for this here. And we can still Baleful Mastery and crew with the Bankbuster, which I don't hate. At the very least, we can block the Alicia, even though this gives Indestructible. But we can make some sort of combat trick where we exile this, we crew with the Bankbuster, and kill the Alicia here. Let's just see what happens. Alright. You get the Enforcer. Sure. We are going to give them a card, but it doesn't matter. They have 7 cards in hand. Alright. It doesn't seem like they have any... We have to exile this. We can't have this in the graveyard forever, right? Okay. Because they can just buy it back, right? Now their Alicia is at 5 mana, which is kind of slow for them. But at the very least, they didn't have like an instant speed spell. They're at 8 cards in hand, which is kind of scary to our 1 card. But we have a pretty well developed board here. So Wedding Announcement is a fine card for them here. Sure. All right. So Weatherlight completed. Fiend Death. Fiend Death. This has to be good. All right. Sure. We're going to take the draw with the Bankbuster thanks to the Power Stones. Sure. Unstable Obelisk, huh? All right. Now, I like the idea of the Augur here. So this says if it has 4 or more, it's a Phyrexian creature, right? Alright, we're going to Fiend Death, the Undead Augur. And we're going to get a million triggers. We don't need a land anymore. We're going to draw a card. We don't need more lands. And here we can draw with the Bankbuster, so I'm just going to keep it back. And we're going to attack with the Strider and the Weatherlight completed here. They take the block. Seems like they might have some sort of board wipe here. But it should be okay. We should be in a decent position at least. We can sacrifice our Buried Ruin. Alright, I'm just going to do this, friend. Cursebound Witch gives us utility. Oh my god. Alright, I'll keep this on top. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have the mana for the Cityscape Leveler, which is pretty good. At the very least, we can kill a Wedding Announcement. Alright. That's a little too bad, but yeah. So they just spent their turn killing stuff, right? We could have drawn with the Bankbuster, yeah, which kind of makes sense. That therefore we can use the scries better, right? Sure. Now I'm very thankful we didn't draw with the Bankbuster, because they would have exiled our Cityscape Leveler, right? So I guess being more patient is better. Okay. Alright. Draw with the Bankbuster. You get a creature. So... I think we need to kill this Wedding Announcement. And, let's just go full on the offensive here. Alright. If it's a board wipe, at the very least we can benefit off of killing these through the Woe Strider. I think Woe Strider is just an insane card in like a sacrifice based deck. But they might have a extinction event, which we are really ready for. Because Woe Strider just, you know, sacrifices our creatures. Duress the Fatal Push, sure. Sure. And then Boots. Yeah. I mean, are you dead, opponent? Maybe. Ulamog. So we can't cast Ulamog yet, because these are power stones that can only cast artifacts. But it's okay. What's the play here? Kind of want to draw with the Bankbuster, to be honest. So, yeah, I'm just going to attack here. Kill the Boots. Put them down to 2. Now, we can run out Ashnod, but I just think there's a board wipe coming. So I'm just going to pass. We can hold up Field of Ruin for the Den. We can hold up Unstable Obelisk to kill a permanent. It can also kill a land here, so that's pretty good. And then if they have a board wipe, we just sacrifice the Leveler and then unearth it next turn and win. Adeline is fine. Sure. And that's game. Yep. Nice. Okay, we're playing against Ramos, Dragon Engine. And we have a pretty decent hand here. We're going first as well, so Ashnod turn 1, of course. We have some artifacts to ramp into, so next turn we sacrifice. The turn after, if we draw a land, we will we can resolve one of these 4 mana artifacts. We just need an untapped land here, and we're doing well. And even if we don't, we can yeah, we don't. Okay, we can slow roll it, I guess. Just ramp more. And yeah, just pass. So next turn, Solemn should be a good card. So Vala, okay. That's kind of problematic, right? So whenever control may draw a card if its power is greater than each other. Okay. Alright. I mean, okay. We have to kill that, I think. So Titan isn't really a good card against these, okay, well they have a basic land here, which is pretty good. Take action. Fortunately, we can't really crew because I do want to attack with the Ashnod. So yeah, that's fine. Draw a card, Forsaken Monument. And what's the play here? Just a Constrict here, I think. Alright, so we have a ton of mana already for all these artifacts. We have to, I think we have to get the Forsaken Monument down. They're just ramping insanely. Should be okay. This Titan, though, is not a good card in this matchup. Really? Are they a Planeswalker deck? They might be. They might be. Oh, yikes. Lightning bolt? Okay. We crew with the Sky Sovereign, right? And then Mind's Desire or Mystic Forge. I think it has to be Mind's Desire, even though we don't get to draw. Maybe we just play the Mystic Forge. See what's on top. Okay. They're down to 12. Now they might have a farewell, but hitting basics like that should be really good for us. Killed their lands. Alright, play the Mystic Forge thing here. Okay. This is really good. We're in a very decent spot here. Okay. Alright. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 next turn. So they want to flip this Nicol Bolas, right? What can they put from the graveyard? Tenacious Underdog, Savala. What else can they do? Deals 10 damage to a creature or planeswalker. Okay. I think we just play Ashnod here and pass. Yeah. They might have a board wipe, and if that's the case, we just underdog them. Oh, yikes. Okay. Alright. Eluna, huh? And they get Gilded Lotus, and that's game. Yeah, you can't really, like, bro, like, you can't just put all your strategy into Luck's hand. What if Eluna doesn't really hit? Like so, right? You had a Gilded Lotus, and what are you going to do now? You have to have a better plan than that. I thought they didn't want to block because they want to flip the Nicol Bolas, but they didn't hit a land and they were forced to play Eluna. And now what? You lost the game. GG's. Okay. Playing against Yorian, Sky Nomad, another extremely difficult matchup, but we're going first. We have an Undead Augur, Fiend Death, Maze Mind Tome, and Phyrexian Processor, so a pretty decent hand if you ask me. We don't have removal or any other interaction of any kind. Now, it might be a bad idea for us to sacrifice this Undead Augur, especially if I have Fiend Death, but let's just go for it. We need to ramp into these big artifacts here, right? They pass. So this Phyrexian Processor is very counterable here, right? I guess we just get down this Maze Mind Tome. Just wait until they have some sort of interaction. Yeah, they most definitely have a counterspell. That's fine. So it seems like they're just going to keep passing here. Midnight Clock is fine, but oh, it's just a Brainstorm. So they tapped out, which is pretty decent for us. Okay. Alright, we draw 2 cards. Mox Amber. This is pretty good. Decline. I'm not going to kill the construction drone here because I do want to attack with it and get the Urza lands, but we'll see. I mean, they still haven't played anything that they can flicker with Yorian, to be honest. Maybe besides that midnight clock that you don't really want to flicker anyway, but maybe they will now. Baneslayer Angel is a good one, but we have Soul Shatter luckily. Alright, Nykthos is fine. So yeah, I'm just gonna Soul Shatter this Baneslayer Angel. I'm not gonna sacrifice still. I'm gonna draw some Urza lands. And yeah. We can pay like what, 6? 5, 6? I don't mind paying 6 here. Hold up Fiend Death and the bargain here, because I really think they have like a farewell or something. We have the upper hand so far, but not when they have a board wipe. Mole Drifter, sure. Alright. Underdog is a fine card here for us. Black Market Connections. Why? Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So sacrifice the underdog. Get another Urza land. Now we just need these big stuff. Fiend Death on the Ashnod. Decline. Alright. Now I guess next turn we can sacrifice this construction drone, even though I don't really want to. Yeah, it just died anyway. Take action. It's going to get us the 3rd land. The 3rd Urza land. Here, I just want to draw a card. Yeah, nothing so far. That's pretty bad. Can put Ashnod down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Our hand is pretty terrible, but if we were to draw something valuable here, we can make something happen, really. So we're going to make a Phyrexian horror creature, or minion, whatever it's called. Skyclave Apparition to hit what? Ashnod. Okay. I don't really need the Ashnod anymore, to be honest. Like, we've already developed a board thanks to Ashnod. And we're going to have so much mana thanks to these Urza lands next turn. It's going to be quite insane, to be honest. Alright. Now, they might have like a Fading Hope or something for this here, but Sculpting Steel is also pretty good. I'm going to take the draw here again, because we need to draw more playable stuff, right? Play an Urza land. Play Sky Sovereign here. Yeah, they're going to counter the Sky Sovereign here, sure. Okay. Let's just attack. They put themselves down to 6 just so they can flicker the Skyclave Apparition, huh? Alright. Draw 2. Even though we're really over investing here, but it shouldn't really be a problem. Okay, they attack. They don't attack. Alright. So they might have settled the wreckage here, which would be really, really painful. I'm going to sacrifice this just to draw cards. We don't need more mana, to be honest. Phyrexian Flesh Gorger is fine. We need to attack and just see what they have. Gonna draw more. We're flooding insanely bad here. Let's see what they have. Yeah, they might have removal for one of these, or both of them, for that matter. Sublime Epiphany. They just ran that out, huh? Okay. Sure. What are they going to target? Processor? The connections. Okay. That's okay. I need to take the block. Can we kill them? Can we actually kill them? They'll be down to 1 here. And we can still make a minion at the end step. Okay, they just... Alright, this is a sign of a board wipe. Sundering Titan. Okay. They might have drawn a farewell here. It's just the Wrath of God, okay. It's a board wipe, surely. Hello? Alright, sure. And then we just finished them off, I think, with the underdog. And that's game. Nice. What a game. Wow. We had the upper hand the entire game. I don't think this is a good Yorian list, because I've definitely played against Yorian before, and you just, with Yorian, you can't really play control. You just have to play things that are flickable, develop mana, play a whole board of flickable things, and then play Yorian on top and just gain insane value. I've definitely played against better Yorian lists, or maybe they just didn't draw good here, but they haven't really done anything impressive, to be honest, so GG's. Okay, playing against Marwin the Nurturer, which is one of the most difficult matchups for us. We do have an extinction event in hand, but our hand is super slow with nothing to sacrifice, even though we're going first. So I'm going to mulligan just to keep a hand that has a creature. And we did find a creature, so I guess, you know, I really hate this land. It comes in tapped. It really screws with your game plan here, but at the very least, no turn 1 play from our opponent here. Okay. So we can play the construction drone next turn. or the Undead Augur, but I think we make it as mana efficient as possible. Although the construction drone isn't something that I'd be willing to sacrifice. We have Meat Hook Massacre, we just need to develop and draw more lands. So play Undead Augur, hopefully draw a land off the top. We didn't. Okay. We can still make something happen with this hand, I guess. Play Marwin. Yep. Marwin is at 2. Pretty difficult. Alright, we drew a land, which is perfect. Alright. Let's kill Marwin now, before it ramps into big stuff. And here we don't need to attack really. They're ramping anyway. Yikes, what is this stutter here? Hello? Alright. Okay, we have a big Meat Hook Massacre next turn, so no matter what they play here, it's not really going to matter. They play Marwin, sure. They might have Crater Hoof, which can instantly win them the game. Okay. Urza Mine, this is perfect. The fact that we're drawing the Urza lands is just really perfect here. So I'm going to attack here with both. I'm going to sacrifice this Urza construction drone. We seek the last Urza land. They take the block, sure. Take action. We wipe the board. So now we can play a conscript here. But I want to make it as mana efficient as possible. So 1, 2, 3, and then 2 for the Bank Buster. Yeah. And then we just draw with the Bank Buster. Okay. All right. Pay about 5 life here. This is what most seems ideal for me. Keep drawing lands here, which is not really that good. Can just attack here and pass, to be honest. We still have plenty of cards in hand to our 2 lands here. Sure. It's pretty good. And Realm Walker, yep. Harvest. Yeah, I mean these they have Finale of Devastation, so that's pretty scary. Alright, so Vala giving us a draw here is quite good. But I think we need to take the draw here, maybe find something better. Cursebound Witch. Sure. Why are you tapping like this? Alright. This gives us 3 mana. This gives us 3 mana. Okay. Sacrifice the witch. Witch's Vengeance, huh? Please. Has to be really good. How do you recover? What are you gonna do with your Finale of Devastation and your 6 mana Marwin? Like, how is that going to work? That, like, they were done, bro. Like, we trampled over them really badly here. I think we played it extremely well, even though, you know, we got lucky with the Urza lands here. But that's how it is, right? That's how the deck works. Some very decent cards here. We had removal early on, and Meathook Massacre was absolutely devastating, and Witch's Vengeance was just the cherry on top, to be honest. GG's.